David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney+. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney+ every night.
Tonight, coast-to-coast storms, heavy snow and ice in the Northeast, and the deadly flooding in California. The major winter storm on the move. States of emergencies declared in New Jersey and New York. Travel disruptions as thousands of flights are canceled and delayed during one of the busiest periods of the holiday season. And the catastrophic flooding and mudslides in California after that record rainfall. Lee Goldberg is here with the forecast. U.S. forces strike ISIS targets in Nigeria on Christmas Day. U.S. and Nigeria forces say they worked together to carry out the deadly strikes. Several alleged terrorists killed. The U.S. now warns more strikes are coming. The new details coming in tonight. High-stakes meeting. Ukrainian President Zelenskyy says he's meeting with President Trump on Sunday to discuss the latest draft of the peace plan. Is a deal to end the long war close? The mother now charged with murder in what authorities are calling the calculated killing of her 9-year-old daughter in court today, entering a plea of not guilty. The students being called heroes for rescuing their bus driver after she had trouble breathing, possibly saving her life. Also tonight, a mother's heartbreak. Her family is in the headlines and at the center of a post-Roe abortion law in Georgia. A young nurse is pregnant but legally dead on life support for months until the baby is born. Rachel Scott's emotional interview with her mother. Did Travis Kelce play his final home game in Kansas City? His emotional moments with his fans. His fiancée Taylor Swift also at the game. Some are now wondering if the NFL great plans to retire. The annual Christmas Eve jazz concert at the Kennedy Center canceled after Trump's name was added to the building. The latest fallout from the renaming of the famed Performing Arts Center. And America Strong tonight. The gift of song, the band lifting the spirits of those most in need, sharing one heart and one note at a time.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis in for David. We begin tonight with the dangerous storms from coast to coast as millions are set to return home or heading out of town to ring in the new year. States of emergencies declared in New York and New Jersey. This flight from Chicago forced to land in snow and icy conditions in Rochester, New York. Thousands of flights have been canceled or delayed in the Northeast. The lake effect snow is also creating scenes like this in upstate New York. An icy coating on trees, cars, and roads in southeast Michigan. Thousands there are without power tonight. And the catastrophic and deadly storm in Southern California. Communities overwhelmed with flooding, mud, and debris after days of record-setting rain. Lee Goldberg is standing by with the forecast, but first, Faith Abubey leads us off tonight.
Tonight, whiteout conditions moving into the Northeast as millions head home from Christmas and millions more head out for the new year.
Make sure you have good tires.
Up to a foot of snow forecast for parts of New York. The state summoning some 1,600 plow and salt trucks. New York and New Jersey declaring states of emergency. Thousands of flights canceled or delayed on one of the busiest days to fly, and more already scrapped for tomorrow. In the West, relentless rain from an atmospheric river washing away cars and roads.
Oh my God.
LA County Fire says they rescued more than 100 people from flooded vehicles on Christmas Day alone. North of Los Angeles, mudslides encasing cars and homes in rocky debris. Families in Wrightwood left to pick up the pieces. KABC reporter Liz Nagy in nearby hard-hit Lytle Creek.
From this Lytle Creek neighborhood, there's now no way out except on foot. This bridge buckled under the intensity of raging floodwaters. Day 3 of relentless pouring rain here in Southern California.
And in the mountains, up to 5 feet of snow. Interstate 80 over Donna Pass shut down in both directions Thursday. At the Mammoth Mountain ski area today, authorities say 2 ski patrol members were injured during avalanche mitigation in the area.
And Lindsay, here in New York City, we could see snowfall rates up to 2 inches an hour. And another system is set to impact the Northeast on Sunday. Lindsay.
People being urged to stay off the roads if they can. Faith, thank you. And we want to get right to Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg from our New York station WABC. Lee, I know you're tracking these powerful storms and sounds like another one is already on the way.
Yes, we are underway. First flakes in New York City, and you heard Faith say 2 inches an hour. You won't be able to see that building behind me once we really start cranking with the storm in the next couple of hours. We have winter weather alerts across the Northeast, and it's winter storm warnings from central New York right down into New York City and also western New England, but it's ice storm warnings across western Pennsylvania. Very dangerous situation setting up. See how you have the heavier bands from about Syracuse into the Hudson Valley down to Long Island. It's going to be just near New York City or just to the north, and then all the icing going on across parts of central Pennsylvania. Look at the timing. This is a quick hitter. A lot of this is coming in a short period of time tonight into the wee hours of the morning. There's still some lingering light snows and freezing drizzle tomorrow morning, but it winds down. Travel conditions still really tough. In terms of accumulations, double-digit totals, probably just north of New York City. It's close in the city, probably a 7 or 8 inch storm in the park, Central Park, Long Island getting high totals. And then you go south, Philadelphia less, Boston less to the north, but significant icing going on as you go over Pennsylvania. Power outages there possible as well. Rest of the weekend, we start to dry out. A storm will be moving from the Rockies with snow into the Ohio Valley by Sunday with some rain. Could move into the Northeast by later Sunday and still some icing inland. Thankfully, we will start to dry out as we get closer to New Year's Eve. Lindsay?
All right, we look forward to that. Lee, thank you. Overseas now to U.S. strikes targeting terrorists in Nigeria on Christmas Day. President Trump says it was to protect Christians in that country, but Nigerian officials say the strikes were aimed at protecting all religions, not just Christians. Here's ABC's senior White House correspondent Selina Wang.
Tonight, new scenes of the aftermath of the U.S. missile strike in Nigeria on Christmas Day. The Pentagon releasing this video, a U.S. warship firing a Tomahawk cruise missile from the Gulf of Guinea. A U.S. official telling ABC News more than a dozen missiles were launched. In a village targeted by the strikes in northwest Nigeria, residents carrying a piece of metal debris as a fire rages in a field. The next day, locals gathering as police sweep the site of a missile strike. President Trump saying he ordered the strikes against terrorists who, quote, have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians. Tonight, the president saying he delayed the strikes for symbolic reasons, telling Politico, quote, they were going to do it earlier and I said, nope, let's give a Christmas present. The Pentagon says multiple ISIS terrorists were killed. U.S. and Nigerian officials confirming they worked together on this operation. Analysts tell ABC News the reality on the ground in Africa's most populous country, home to millions of Christians and Muslims, is complex.
Christians are not the sole target of ISIS in Nigeria. They have been indiscriminate in their violence.
Nigeria's government responding to the strikes overnight, saying terrorist violence in any form, whether directed at Christians, Muslims, or other communities, remains an affront to Nigeria's values and to international peace and security. The Christmas strikes are the second this week. Last Friday, the U.S. carrying out dozens of airstrikes against ISIS in Syria in response to the deadly attack that killed 3 Americans.
Selina Wang joins us now from Palm Beach, where President Trump is spending the Christmas holiday and planning to host some world leaders. What more can you tell us, Selina?
Well, Lindsay, President Trump will host Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at his Mar-a-Lago club in the coming days, and the agenda is expected to be wide-ranging with the focus on how to advance the fragile Israel-Hamas ceasefire into the next phase. Iran's nuclear activities are also expected to be front and center in these discussions. Lindsay?
Selina, thank you. Ukraine's President Zelenskyy also says he's meeting with President Trump at Mar-a-Lago on Sunday to finalize a draft of the peace deal with Russia. Zelenskyy says the 20-point plan is 90% complete, but could Russia throw a wrench in their plans? ABC's Patrick Reevell joins us now. Patrick.
Hi, Lindsay. President Zelenskyy says that he will meet with President Trump at Mar-a-Lago this Sunday in another bid to try to push a peace deal forward. Now, Zelenskyy upbeat, finalizing the most sensitive points of the latest draft of a 20-point plan that's been worked out between Ukraine and U.S. negotiators, including security guarantees for Ukraine. But Trump, in an interview with Politico, saying that Zelenskyy, quote, doesn't have anything until I approve it. It comes just days after Zelenskyy Zelenskyy said he is ready to withdraw troops from Ukraine's Donbass region and make the areas that it still controls demilitarized zones, offering a compromise on a key demand of Vladimir Putin. But the problem is, so far, the Kremlin shows no sign of accepting this new proposal. Today, Russia's deputy foreign minister saying that Zelenskyy's plan is radically different from what Russia has discussed with the US. Now, Russia over Christmas again pummeling Ukraine, killing 2 today and injuring 8 in Kharkiv. So despite the positive signals coming from Kyiv, it's still very difficult to see a deal being reached yet. Lindsay.
Patrick, thank you. Back here in the U.S., new details tonight in the tragic death of 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard. Her mother is now charged with murder, pleading not guilty in court today and ordered held without bail. Here's ABC's Andrew Dymburt.
Tonight, Ashlee Buzzard appearing in court, charged with murdering her 9-year-old daughter, Melodee. Prosecutors alleging Ashlee intentionally killed her daughter, Melodee, using a 9mm firearm. Melodee missing for more than 2 months. Authorities say her remains were eventually located in a rural area outside of Caneville, Utah. The mother and daughter leaving their home in Lompoc, California on October 7th for a 3-day road trip to Nebraska. According to authorities, Ashlee rented a white 2024 Chevy Malibu and traveled more than 3,000 miles for the road trip. Investigators saying this is the route they believe she took. Investigators claiming Ashlee wore wigs and switched license plates along the way. This surveillance video showing the mother and daughter at a rental car facility. Ashlee returning home on October 10th without her daughter. A school administrator later reporting Melodee's disappearance, setting off a desperate multi-state search.
Lindsay, that mother is being held without bail. She's due back in court January 7th. Lindsay?
Andrew Dymburt for us. Thank you. Next tonight, 2 Ohio siblings are being called heroes after they quickly jumped into action when their school bus driver suffered a medical emergency, possibly saving her life. Here's ABC's Mola Langi.
Tonight, 2 Ohio siblings are being hailed as heroes after helping save the life of their school bus driver.
We need help on Fork Road, bus 8. Bus driver cannot breathe.
Crestview School District in Ashland sharing this video of the dramatic incident last Friday morning. Charlie and Katrina Thomas rushing to the aid of their driver who was having trouble breathing.
I ran up there and said, "What is wrong?" And she pointed at her throat. And then I ran back there and got the older kids. We were on a hill, like going downwards. So I pulled the parking brake out.
8-year-old Katrina was the first to see the driver in distress.
Hey,
Her brother Charlie bolting to the front of the bus.
That's when I realized that something was going on. Went up there and grabbed the radio and then called the school because I knew that was the quickest way we could get help.
The school district stating the driver experienced a breathing-related medical issue, praising the students and staff for their quick thinking and calm response.
I was very proud. I was joyful that my kids were knowledgeable enough and knew enough to know what to do to actually help somebody.
Proud and happy with myself and happy that we got her all better now.
Well, Lindsay, tonight that bus driver out of the hospital. She told ABC affiliate WEWS that she makes it a point to teach students how to use the two-way radio on the bus. And tonight, she's just glad they were listening, Lindsay.
Quick thinking kids there, Mola, thank you. Now to a Georgia family at the center of a national debate. A pregnant nurse declared brain dead but kept on life support for months. Her family says a state law left them with no input as doctors focused on keeping the fetus alive. Rachel Scott sat down with the mother as questions grow over how Georgia's abortion law is being applied.
Tonight, the heartbreak for the family of a pregnant woman. A young nurse, Adriana Smith, expecting her second child. When her own health suddenly spiraled, she was soon declared dead. I sat down with Adriana's mom, April Newkirk.
When did you start to realize that something was wrong with Adriana?
And I think she was having really, really, really bad headaches. Really, really bad, to the point where that's when she went to the hospital. CT scan showed that there were blood clots everywhere.
Less than 2 weeks later, doctors told the family that young mother had died.
They declared her brain death February 19th. The fetus at the time had a heartbeat, so they said that they would treat the baby as the patient, and she was no longer the patient because of the law that they have here in Georgia.
Georgia's law known as the Life Act went into effect after Roe v. Wade was overturned in 2022. It bans abortions as early as 6 weeks of pregnancy and deems fetuses living distinct persons. The law only allows narrow exceptions for medical emergencies, rape and incest, and medically futile pregnancies. Though Adriana was brain dead, her death certificate saying February 19th. Her mother says doctors kept her on life support for 16 more weeks in an effort to save her pregnancy. In June, the baby was born premature at around 26 weeks. He's been in the NICU ever since.
He's not your regular premature baby. He's struggling.
In initial statements in May, the hospital, Emory Healthcare, said they make individualized treatment recommendations in compliance with Georgia's abortion laws and all other applicable laws. In a recent statement to ABC News, the hospital said in part, "Some of our patients present with the most complex and difficult situations where there may not be clinical, legal, societal, or legal agreement on the best course." Suzanne Guy opposes abortion rights and lobbied for the Georgia law.
Do you think there should have been an exception in Adriana's case?
Rachel, I don't. That little boy is valuable and deserved to be protected and fought for.
But Adriana's mother says watching her daughter deteriorate for 16 weeks after she was already declared dead is not something any family should have to go through.
I feel like we should have had a choice, but we didn't. I really think it should be a choice. I just do. I just do.
Lindsay, the hospital tells us they cannot release any more details about Adriana's case because the family has not given them permission to do so. But this case does highlight the confusion surrounding Georgia's abortion laws. In a statement, Georgia's Attorney General tells us there is nothing in the Life Act that requires medical professionals to keep a woman on life support after brain death. Lindsay.
Rachel, thank you. When we come back, 2 North Carolina police officers are in the hospital after a shooting at an edible arrangements. What we know about the suspect. Travis Kelce retirement rumors swirl after what may have been his final home game. And America strong. See how a band of carolers is spreading joy to Indiana families in need. Tonight, 2 police officers in Mint Hill, North Carolina have been upgraded to stable condition following a shootout at an edible arrangements. Shortly before 11 a.m. this morning, police responded to an emergency call regarding a child custody exchange. Investigators say the suspect was shot and killed. Tonight, we have word that a 15th person has now died as a result of that UPS plane crash in Kentucky last month. The man succumbed to his injuries Christmas Day, 7 weeks after the crash. A preliminary report from the NTSB found the Honolulu-bound cargo plane's left engine separated from the aircraft and burst into flames shortly after takeoff. When we come back, speculation swirls around the future of Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. Is he hanging up his cleats? To the Index, and what was meant to be a celebration is now a controversy. The Kennedy Center canceled its annual Christmas Eve jazz concert. The show's host, musician Chuck Redd, says he called off the performance in the wake of President Trump adding his own name to the arts institution. Many legal scholars say Trump's move violates the law. Tonight, speculation is growing about the future of 3-time Super Bowl champ Travis Kelce. Kelce appears emotional during the national anthem before last night's loss to the Denver Broncos. His fiancée Taylor Swift watched on from the stands as Kelce played what could be his final home game in Kansas City. As he headed into the tunnel, fans erupted into cheers, showering him with adulation that some say felt like a farewell. Kelce has not made an announcement on his future. When we come back, we head to Indiana and a special group of musicians bringing hope to those in need. Finally, America strong. We head to Indiana for some much-needed Christmas spirit. In this quiet Indianapolis neighborhood, something unexpected fills the cold December air. On this school bus, a big band with a simple mission to make sure this season, no matter how difficult, is still joyful.
We wish you the merriest, the merriest. This is a giant band that goes around town, carols for those in need. It's typical caroling, but on steroids.
Not a parade or a concert hall, but a home in need of some holiday cheer.
Thank you so much.
And these volunteers deliver.
We've had a rough year medically.
It's been tough.
We were very taken aback. They wanted to come and share all their talents with us.
They don't sell tickets or take a stage. Instead, these 50 band members show up wherever they're needed.
These are people who have had a rough year, are in need, are sick, have had a relative pass away. It doesn't matter. They need a little happiness. They need a little spirit. So we go and uplift them.
driveways, bunched up in a living room, or in backyards. They also pay visits to local fire stations and nursing homes. Now in its 12th year, they hope to take this charity effort nationwide. Lingering smiles and joyful memories, proof that sometimes the biggest holiday magic doesn't come wrapped under a tree. It pulls up with a trumpet or a trombone and a whole lot of heart. You can feel it. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Lindsay Davis. Good night.
David Muir, the most watched newscast in America. And now, ABC's World News Tonight has won the Emmy for Best Live News Program for the 3rd year in a row.